All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Assassination Classroom, Season 1, Episode 5. We got a new character.
New character.
Yep.
We got ourselves an international...
Assassin.
Yes, indeed. The bitch sensei, as she has been dubbed.
Yes, and rather accurately, but apparently there's different connotations for that word in Japan than in the US.
Interesting,
so,
yeah.
That is definitely an interesting fact.
Her introduction was kind of a thing, you know?
It was a bit of a thing. She did show some levels of bringing something unique to the table beyond just, both
of her angles that she takes with regards to Korosensei.
That's right. But as far as ways that maybe she needs to grow, not physically, but as a person, there are many.
Yes, and specifically what her role will probably be in the show is one that might continue to draw a little bit of that ire of the students, specifically for the purpose of unifying them maybe a little bit
potentially more. because she was kind of dishing out a lot of that prejudice and stuff that they were getting, before they were transferred into this class and everything.
True.
So she might have to work for a bit before they stop calling her bitch sensei.
I definitely agree. If karma has anything to do with it, it will be the entire show, probably.
That's right.
It'll probably be a wholesome moment, like way later in season 2, where karma will be like, "You're free from it," and she's gonna be like, "Thank you," Like,
I love that.
I don't
saying,
like you,
though,
but thank you.
If karma has anything to do with it, right?
Yeah, because that phrase just works so well. Yes, but. We're going to the next episode here. This is probably going to be a new focus on a different character and some unique way that Korosensei brings a clever lesson to the table here. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Oh, chemistry.
Lab time! Class officers. Ah.
Are we doing a dual introduction?
Yeah.
こういうのは手伝ってもらえることが嬉しいんですよ。こんな変な生き物が担任だなんて。ま、もう慣れの問題だけどさ。
Yeah. For both of you, yeah.
I love this track. It's so just like, regular life.
Right, and then suddenly,
暗殺のターゲットだけどな。ね。そこは大事ですね。くれぐれも忘れないように。ねる。やっぱそれくらいの不意打ちじゃダメでしょ。
but if we're doing chemistry, there could be explosives that would hurt the students. And he'll have to protect them.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're setting up kind of shyer, purple-eyed girl to be the next focus character, maybe?
Potentially.
お菓子から着色料を取り出す実験はこれで終了。余ったお菓子は先生が回収しておきます。給料日前だから授業でおやつを調達してやがる。
地球を滅ぼす超生物がなんで給料
Oh my god! Wow, I actually believe them, yeah.
毒です。飲んでください。
Wait! What?
ですか。
奥田さん、これはまた正直な暗殺ですね。
Surely at this point it can't be considered an assassination.
みんなみたいに不意打ちとかうまくできなくて、でも科学なら得意なんで、真心込めて作った。
Please test to see if you can actually survive
Test
this.
to see if she's as good at chemistry as she hopes she is.
ではいただきます。これは。なんか角生えたぞ。この味は水酸化ナトリウム。
Oh, sodium hydroxide. Okay, yeah, that's
飲めば有害ですが、先生には
pretty decent stuff, yeah.
All right.
そうですか。
それでは。
Ah! What?
今度は羽が生えた。
This one's like actually serious. Oh, jeez.
Is he just doing this to entertain them, though?
Oh.
真顔になった。
変化の方向性が読めねえよ。
We've seen that face one time before.
先生のことは嫌いでも 暗殺のことは嫌いにならないでください。いきなりどうした？
Wait, what if it actually kind of worked there? Like, okay, he's back. He's back. Okay, right.
I will help teach you.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
ここ暑いわね。ねえ。
I would have never guessed.
暑いなら近づくな。遊ぶな。
なんでこの校舎エアコンがないの？
Because it's cheap.
学校側にも改善を要求している
Yeah,
のだ。
yeah.
許されない。
はあ？
Oh, it's giving her a different target. She can turn her powers against the school. That's how she's gonna redeem herself in their eyes.
She seduces the entire board of directors for the school.
Ooh, okay, okay.
君は理科の成績は素晴らしいんですけどね。
But
でもそれ以外がさっぱりで、言葉の良し悪しとか人間の複雑な感情表現とか
oh,
何が正解かわからなくて。 でも
this is all of us, but with anime. We're like, we love anime. Try talking to people.
About anime? No. Oh.
毒物の正しい保管方法まで漫画にしてある。
Okay.
相変わらず殺先生って。
That's awesome.
自分を殺す毒。
What the heck?
きっと私を応援してくれてるんです。
Yeah.
国語なんてわからなくても、私
Or
は
maybe
上司を
by
直せばいい
doing
って。
this, this is something that they'll talk to her about, and then she'll get a bit more comfortable with them and make some friends.
Sure.
では早速いただきます。ありがとう、奥田さん。君の薬のおかげで先生を進めそうです。
それって
Wow.
Evolution.
液状ゆえにどんな隙間にも入り込
Oh
む
my
ことが
God.
可能に。
どこに入ってんのよ。
しかもスピードはそのままに。さあ、やってみなさい。はぐれ先
奥田さん、あの毒薬って騙したんですか、コロ先生。
生。奥田さん、暗殺には人を騙す国語力が必要ですよ。どんなに優れた毒を作れても、今回のように馬鹿正直に渡したので、
Yeah.
ターゲットに利用
Good lesson. Good lesson.
人を騙すには相手の気持ちを知る必要がある。
Ah.
言葉に工夫をする必要がある。上手な毒の盛り方、それに必要なのが国語です。
Quite so. Quite so.
それを多くの人に分かりやすく伝えるために、
Sure.
毒を渡す国語力も鍛えてください。
Oh.
ちょっ
Oh God.
Way back here.
と、リッチ先
Oh, whoa.
She went
It's actually
fast.
quite quick. Yeah.
だから移動なんて
Yeah.
聞いてないわよ。だらしねえな、ビッチ先生。
ヒールで走ると倍疲れるのよ。
Why are you
Why
still
are you in
wearing
heels?
heels?
Yeah.
生徒たちの前に姿を晒すわけにはいかないからな。旧校舎に待機させている。
Oh.
先生だけの獣。
All alone. Shun sensei.
本校舎までもう少しだ。行くぞ。
Ass class indeed.
What I think when we were talking about with Bitch Sensei being antagonistic toward the main campus to be the way to make them appreciate her might be like right on the money with something like this
Potentially,
being
yeah.
something that she's like, what the hell is this all about?
She pulls out a machine gun and is like, all right, where are those staff?
お疲れ。わざわざ山の上からこっちに来るの大変だ。
Wow, it's like they were designed to have punchable faces.
Yeah, yeah, I was literally thinking that, yeah.
この手はいつも効果的ですね、理事長。これのおかげで3位以外の一流大学への進学率は非常に高い。
い
Uh-huh.
わばこれは大人社会の予習です。悲しいかな。人間は差別し軽蔑する対象があった方がそういうのです。
なるほ
Having
ど
to。strive for
私
hell
は
to
常に
flee.
合理で動く。学校経営も暗殺さえも理にかなっていればそれでいい。
Is this Kire Kotamine's like sub voice or something? Like,
Yeah, we need a Shiro to show up and be like, just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
カラスマ先生、ナイフケースで凝ったんだ。かわいいっしょ。
可愛いのはいいか。他のクラスには秘密なんだぞ。暗殺のことは。
Oh, cool.
You get the random girls that are like, we don't really care about school anyways. Let's just get into E class. That way we can be with the hot teachers.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Here she is. Here she is.
Oh, nice. There we go. That's right. They don't even need to do anything. They just need to show up.
Ah, yes. She won't show weakness here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
エンドの E 組の分際でいい思いしやがって。
Okay.
All right. Again, subtlety is not her thing.
何 E 組の分まだなんですが。
ない？おかしいな。ごめんなさい。3の E の分忘れたみたい。すいませんけど全部記憶して帰ってください。
Jeez.
何よこれ。演出。
Whoa! You don't even see it because he's that fast.
Oh. Oh! Oh no!
手書きのコピーが全員分あるようですし。はい。
Wow.
ああ、プリントあるんで続けてください。
嘘、なんで？誰だよ？笑いどころ潰したやつ。
Wow, you're being really obvious about it.
Again, subtlety apparently is not a thing with the adults.
Yeah, yeah.
全校の場に顔を出すなと言っただろう。お前の存在自体国家機密なんだぞ。
いいじゃないですか。
Flawless.
Yes, definitely.
Illusion 100.
What's with his arms not having elbows?
Oh my god. Oh.
Again, top assassin.
And they're laughing like this is normal. What?
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell?
What's going on?
This is awesome. Oh my god.
お前らさ、ちょっと調子乗ってない。
Oh, this is big? I'm sorry you thought so.
どうせもう人生積んでんだから。
まったくこの学校は。
あの程度の生徒に屈しはしませんよ。私を暗殺しようとする生徒たちはね。
His nose just falls off.
殺すぞ。あ？
殺すか。殺そうとしたことなんてないくせに。
Yeah. Respect the alpha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
なんだ今の。
Killer intent.
ほらね、私の生徒たち
Motivated.
Motivated. Yes, yes. Good stuff. Good stuff.
エンドのイ組が普通の生徒を押しのけて歩いていく。
This was our plan all along. They shall far exceed the
合
others.
理的ではない。少し改善する必要がある。
Oh my god, those
私に
eyes.
とっては
Why does he look like he belongs in a K-pop
優先
band
事項だ。
and also partially vampire?
Uh-huh. We need very specific descriptions so that we can separate characters from the others because we have so many at this point.
That was pretty great though. Of like, okay, well, just have the two super hot, like, you know, like professional killers just be all like, yep, we're here, we're awesome. What? What's
and
that?
even they, you know, kind of act a little bit kind of awkward at times given this whole thing. He's like, oh, they bedazzled their knife knives, yeah. Like, no, not the knives themselves, but the cases,
yeah.
cases, the sheaths, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, don't show that. And then she like just straight up just like shoves Nagisa in her boobs and like
I thought she was gonna do
pulls
something.
out her knife and just starts attacking him right.
Yeah,
brought up.
that was a bit much. That was a bit much. I expected her to do something where she would like go and like whisper something in Nagisa's ear very close, leaning over kind of a thing.
Right.
But
all right,
okay.
we got ourselves some focus on a new character named Okuda.
Yep.
Okuda is a much more socially like shy kind of character,
Right.
a little bit awkward in dealing with other people, but Korosensei set her up for some good growth in showing her a lesson with regards to how her chemistry can actually lead to some good lessons with interacting with people.
And one of the things that I really liked about it is it wasn't something where Korosensei even solved her problem, really.
True.
He just pointed out what she would need to work on.
Yep.
And maybe ways to think about it that might make it easier for her to stay motivated and think that she actually could do something and that it was a worthwhile endeavor, kind of. Because essentially it boiled down to, you need to get better at that thing that you're not good at. That thing that you're insecure about. Work on it.
Right. But you can channel that energy of your of the passion for your strength to basically say, actually just see it as getting better at your strengths.
Yep.
Because I personally speaking, I don't think it's actually as useful to try and be a perfectly rounded individual.
Yeah.
I think that it doesn't make sense to try to accommodate for all your weaknesses. Because all your weaknesses and strengths are just shadows of the other. They're just a flip side of a strength or a weakness, basically, respectively.
Yeah.
So in this case, he's saying, hey, just focus on your strengths, chemistry, and assassination by chemistry, by maybe dabbling a little bit in the personal interactions that would be necessary in order to make your chemistry a strength that you can actually use in this area of trying to assassinate me.
It's something where I feel like he was directly more attacking the idea of the psychological issue that the school propagates of you guys are worthless, you guys won't amount to anything, all of that, right? Because when it comes right down to it, Okuda could potentially figure out her own way of interacting with people that maybe works for her and all that. But because it's this foreign thing for her, she's not really trying to apply herself there. She just says, will you please drink this poison? Right? Yep. Because, well, I'm already accepting that I'll fail whenever I try and do anything clever with my words and stuff.
Right.
So I'll just not try.
I'll just be naive with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's no good.
Yeah,
that's no good.
It doesn't lead to any results. It is something, though, I will say, that if you just go up to someone and say, hey, I'm not really good at interacting with people.
Yep.
Do you want to be friends, though? It's like, yeah, a lot of people say no, but some people be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Especially during that time of high school, if they're the right person and they're not being a dick about it, where, friends really do help, so.
Totally. That focus, kind of hyper, I would say, condensed into like the first half of the episode, I think was a good formula for moving forward. Because then what they can do is have every episode that they do not just be one entire episode about a character.
Sure.
You can have 10 minutes focused on a specific character and then the other 10 minutes developing the world or maybe developing another character in addition to that.
Right.
So you can be a lot more, I would say, faster paced with it.
Well, and you can also have a distinction between the characters that are supposed to be main characters versus side characters. Yes. And also have it not feel like, we introduced that character 15 episodes ago, so you shouldn't need to see them anymore, right? You know, like that kind of issue.
True. With the assembly, though, this brought up, I would say, a lot of things that are just kind of weird about this world, the way it's set up and everything. But also, I would say, re-emphasized how important the disparity between Class 3E and just the rest of the school is. And set up the principal, the lead kind of guy within the school, as being kind of a primary antagonist, if you will.
Sure.
Given that, in some kind of a clever way, Korosensei isn't an antagonist.
Nope.
Yet, all the main characters are trying to kill him.
Right. Pretense is still there, but come on, we know that that's not what this show is about.
And I really thought that in some ways, the principal was doing the thing that you were joking about at the end of the reaction, in that actually Class 3E will naturally start to look down upon the other students. Thus forcing their development. Because they see them all as preppy, elitist douchebags, basically.
Sure.
Perpetuating the system. So that would help them, if we go by his logic being sound, that you need to look down on someone in order to develop more. It's like, that maybe works in some competitive environments, but it's like it's
at the very least a setup establishment of going beyond competition, right? Where it's like, okay, we actually have to surpass these obstacles, right?
Right.
If they don't, then they still serve the purpose of sort of being the sacrificial lambs for the rest of the school, right?
Exactly. But the principal is not doing that. The principal is actively saying, I'm going to have to reestablish the pecking order here.
Right.
The assassination can wait a little bit.
There's a lot of dicks, basically, at the school.
Well, I think you're not understanding what I was saying. I'm saying that the principal is saying, no, we need to remind 3E that they're at the bottom here.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So he doesn't care about what the rest of the people in the class or the school are doing.
Yeah.
He's saying
he's been a dick.
Well, right. But he's someone that's going to target them more specifically than they have been already. Because right now what it's been is more of a ha ha ha, we laugh at you guys, discriminate against you guys, but we don't actively seek out and target you guys like on your turf. We don't.
There's a balance that's been struck because they're usually just out of sight, out of mind, and then whenever they're there, they kind of have to put up with their shit.
Right.
And all of the stuff of not, fixing up the air conditioning and all that stuff.
Right. It's passive aggressive stuff, not aggressive stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Like the example of where the bullies, if anything, are kind of the exception rather than the norm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that stopped working.
Yes, it did stop working.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever actually tried to kill someone before?
And just
I don't think so.
That gleeful, almost like Killua kind of look where you get that shadows over the eyes and it's like, oh.
Yeah. You
do you know who you're messing with?
Yeah. Like I expected it to almost be something where Nagase would like bust out some of the moves that we saw Karasuma use. Where it's like, oh really? And just
oh my god,
take him down. But
that moment where Karasuma dislocated the shoulder of Bitch Sensei,
like it was
made me just so happy because they chose to have that sound effect in there, which is the typical dislocated of the the joint there, and it's just like oh that's just so wonderful.
And it was a bit extreme, but it was a response to something that was already a bit extreme with just everything and how Bitch Sensei acts.
I cannot take her seriously every time she does that kind of stuff.
Me neither.
Because she's supposed to be this professional assassin.
Yeah.
And yet she just whips out a knife in public at this assembly here and starts swinging at him as if it's going to do something. In some ways, I'm
curious if the press someone's face into my boobs, out of nowhere, has ever worked on a target for her,
I gotta say it will probably work on some.
Some, yeah. But
it's a non-0% chance of success.
Yes, but so is pulling a knife on Korosensei.
No, that's a 0% chance of success. That is
0.0000000, lots of zeros.
There are not enough years in her expected lifespan to give her enough time to make that thing actually work.
Yes.
It is successful.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It is successful if she lives to be 5,000 years old.
Oh boy. But yeah. But there you go. It's an aspect of it. Everything's a bit extreme in this show, from the antagonism from the school to Bitch Sensei and everything. So there we go. That's sort of how it is.
Yeah. We do have a cool setup though where Karma is still acting like the kind of rebel in the school, though. Because there are times where Class 3 has to then be reminded that they are still a part of this school. Even though their class is separate, they have to assemble. They have to be there. And that's probably some, like, state-required thing or something like that, in addition to it being something that they use as a pecking order reminder thing of, hey, remember, don't be like, Class 3E, otherwise you'll end up there.
One of the things that's kind of tough about this is that, if you think about it, the reason why they have to follow the school's rules is because they're going to the school. Now, why do they still want to go to the school when they're in this,
parents
in this class?
They don't have a choice.
Well, sure, parents and all that stuff, right? But theoretically, they could get, they could get expelled or something like that, right?
But I think that's the point, is that they won't actually expel them. They'll do this kind of thing there. And then if they expel them, then they lose all the other chances that they could get in life by being still a part of the elite school.
Right, exactly. And that's my point, is the idea that, like, in the really abusive relationships, there's that whole question of why doesn't the person leave? Right now, in this situation, these people are kids, right? So, you know,
there's a whole lot.
There's a whole lot of other you know, reasons and things like that, as far as people making decisions for them and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But there's that idea of, is there something that is sort of expected or has been the case before Korosensei showed up, where it was still something where, yeah, even though we're being, you know, totally ostracized and all this horrible stuff is happening to us, at least we're still a part of this school. It would be so much worse if we weren't in this school, you know, like, well, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, but I think that this is not something where it's the adults in a toxic work environment where, you know, the boss is just, stringing them along and stuff like that. This is something where they didn't choose to go to this school. This is something where they were given the privilege of going to this school, and then they were sent to this school probably by their parents.
Sure.
So they can't just leave necessarily. And I think that's more of a thing that we're supposed to kind of have implied because of the way school dynamics work. And probably more so also something that we wouldn't necessarily have any experience with personally, so it doesn't really work as a relatable
cultural
thing.
Differences based on the country and things like that. And,
in that you absolutely cannot just say school is being tough on me to your parents.
I want to transfer to a different school.
I want to transfer to a different school.
No, we took out a mortgage, a second mortgage in order to be able to pay for you to be able to go to this school, all that.
Right, exactly. It's something that's assumed within the context of the premise of the show that they are stuck here.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost to the level of like when there's like the death battle schools. It's like, why don't they leave the school? So it's probably not too much point talking about it. I just thought that was kind of interesting with with the way some of the overtness of the discrimination.
Yeah. But there's that kind of stuff happening in schools that's less of a faculty encouraged kind of thing on this scale, but still happening where the faculty
turns a blind eye and
turns like against the students, like just actively engages in the bullying as well. In fact, that was one of the things that over the course of watching anime on the channel, a lot of people have kind of told me over the course of it, is that no, in Japanese schools the teachers are absolutely involved in the bullying, like a lot of the time.
Yeah
like it's really bad a lot of times for those that get bullied, and elitism is definitely a thing that happens across the board with regards to schools around the world, I'm sure, but this is just a hyper dramatized version of something that is very much a real thing,
which is cool because then it turns into more commentary in addition to just being the general awesome story of the really good but weird teacher teaching the delinquents,
Right. And that's probably where characters like Karasuma, even Bitch Sensei, and then of course Korosensei will kind of be their allies amidst this chaotic and hostile environment.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's what it is with Bitch Sensei, is that for Karasuma, he's the straight man. Right, he's the sort of most normal-ish guy of the teachers.
Yeah, even though he's a government agent.
Even though he's a government agent and can dislocate people's shoulders, even though they're master assassins. And then with Bitch Sensei, it's another one of those things where she's, has a very different way of doing things.
But she's also in an environment that she doesn't understand and is kind of hostile to her as well.
Yes, and maybe eventually she'll be able to figure out ways, like in her introductory episode in the previous one, where she's able to take some of the things that she has learned and use it to adapt the teaching of the students so that they can learn something in a way that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Right. I also really thought they were going to do something here that it would be maybe a bit too linear of this show, because right now it's pretty episodic. But they could have had Okuda realize that actually Bitch Sensei might be a good person to talk to with regards to interacting with people, because I'm sure that one of the things that she did a lot as a professional assassin was poison people in ways that they totally thought that they were being given some wonderful drink or something.
I absolutely love that. And something that I would have loved even more.
Even
though this wouldn't have happened. This is just satire, La La Land for me. She's like, I need to talk to Bitch Sensei. She'll know how to do this. She just turns to where Bitch Sensei is and just observes her for 10 seconds and is like, no, I definitely shouldn't go to Bitch Sensei.
Or she tries to actually poison
Karasuma
her
or something. Oh, that'd be dark.
She's like, I can practice on her. And the rest of the students are like, yeah, let's do it.
No, that's going a bit far.
Okay. But Korosensei was amazing this episode. I loved that he used twice this episode the white, dejected, kind of maybe shamed face. Because when he used it in the previous episode, I was like, you know what you're doing, Korosensei. And he's like, what do you mean? But then here he used it when he was alone and shunned Sensei. That was hilarious.
I could almost hear Eddie Murphy going, I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
But then he also used it when the poison got that result out of him when he was on the rafters. That was pretty good. But
and the whole thing of him just showing up out of nowhere with handwritten pamphlets and things like that and handing them out, being
he just took one and photocopied it. That's all he did.
Right, exactly.
And he brought it back into the other student's hand before they even realized that it was gone.
But the idea that he does this and he's like, oh, it's totally fine. I'm in disguise. I'm in disguise, bro. It's all good. I got it. I got you covered. I already thought of that. And he's just like, no. What about you is disguised right now?
Hey, I mean, man, these elite kids, they didn't notice him, so they didn't notice anything alien about him, so,
And there was also that newspaper article that showed him tentacling a professional baseball player on the front page. But,
I mean, there might have been some, government shenanigans to clean up all that mess.
Wiped all the 300 baseball fans that were watching the game.
Right, exactly. The little comic that he wrote for her, though, that was so wonderful. The fact that he gave that much attention basically to her here. Let me see this. Here's the comic. Yeah. Let me get this again here.
Yep.
He drew a comic describing how to describe the poison to deliver the poison personally. If poison, they'll kill him. Proper storage of poisonous substance. Keep it away from direct sunlight. Don't mix with water. Don't add sugar past midnight. What we read from the right. When stored properly. Surely then I got into a top university. I also made 5 girlfriends. I'm glad I stored my poison properly.
Wow.
Let's break up. You're too dangerous. Oh wait, when stored improperly. Let's break up. You're too dangerous. If only I'd stored it correctly back then. Oh my god.
That's great.
That's so good. And then the top part is how to make something with it. It's step 2, add rat snake fangs.
And bat wings
to 1. Heat the mixture until you see the color change, then pass it through a filter. Upon use, make a 4 to 5-fold dilution in ethanol. Add some sugar to finish it off if you prefer. Do not taste it. Key point: make sure to pre-wet your filter paper with the solvent. What the heck?
Okay.
Is this an actual step in some type of poison?
Probably not, but that's why they only have step 2 because we can't see the full thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There you go. But oh my god, this episode was hilarious, but also nice and simple and getting to the point with what they were doing with Okuda. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. It's really awesome, and it's on Amazon for purchase. Link in the description down below.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.